the Holy Trinity and think it's gonna do what it's gonna do. It's not. If we talk about, hold on, let me get my camera together here. If we talk about gumbo, we're talking about several things going into
it.
The mother, and the mother is the roux. And the roux is simply a flour base mashed with butter or some type of fat. I've seen butter. I've seen some people who use different substitutes, but I'm a butter to my heart. If you're vegan, they have vegan butter. You can use. I've used coconut oil, peanut oil. But if you want to stay authentic, you're going to definitely stick with a butter, and you're going to add your beautiful ingredients. You're going to add your Holy Trinity. Y'all girls know what the Holy Trinity is?
Well, for the gumbo?
Onions, celery, and bell pepper. Onions, celery, and bell pepper.
You better say it. That's what it is.
Okay, I'm from the South, baby. Let's do this. Y'all talking
Let's
my
do
talk.
this, okay?
Baby, y'all talking my talk.
Yes. So that's pretty much what it is. And you can add whatever you want to add to it. Some people have a chicken-based one. I have a chicken-based one where I use chicken andouille. I use chicken breast. I have crab, fresh crab, okay? We got fresh crab meat. We got peppers and flavors. I have my own spices that I make and use and blend on my own to take it to the next level. And then you let that baby low and simmer. You make you a pot of rice. And if you really authentic, true to your soul, you're going to always add okra. Now, I don't care if you add it in the beginning, the end, fried on top. But if you're going to stay true to it, you're going to add some okra.
Yeah.
Okay, if you meet anybody in New Orleans or deep down south and you don't have that in your, they're not gonna call it gumbo. I'm gonna keep it real with you. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Right now, Neeks is serving and catering gumbo.
Wow. I think that is so amazing. And in the midst of that, like, I went live, it's 2:00, like we about 5 deep in here, and we're having a conversation, an authentic, raw, bold conversation about sisterhood and self-awareness and how to show up and just be present right where you are and right how you are. So as you chopping away, like, introduce yourself, pull on up into this conversation on Becoming Carmen and tell the world who you are, chick.
All right, my name is Queenie Vesey. I am vibrant, I am unique, I am kind, them are my essence words. I am the chef and owner of Neeks Eats. We believe that you should eat good food. I mean, that's just my motto, simple, right there to it. I have my own garden, I grow my own food, I make my own seasonings, I dry and dehydrate my own food, I pickle, I make my own jams, hot sauce, you name it, I got it. Like, again, I am catering gumbo right now, and eventually by June, I'll be doing a full launch and have a full menu. So if you know someone who wants some gumbo, just send them my way. I got you.
How's that for sisterhood? You want gumbo? She got gumbo.
Got you.
Hey, slide over.
Keeping it real with her essence words.
What you say, Lupe?
Keeping it real.
Okay, because that's who I am.
I hear that.
well, who are you, Lupe?
Hey. I never really used my essence words that I got from Ron. No, but two different people from two different times. And I do something, I do my all. I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna give it my all. But other than me being a TM meditator and Ayurveda, practitioner, healer, I'm also, I'm also putting together a women's veterans organization. And I advocate for disabled veterans, disabled female vets, because in this country, it's, we know what it's like to be at the bottom and the oppressed. Now you add that on top of being a female vet, and that's even more into the mix. So I know I called you earlier, Carmen, because I was in the middle of, advocating. I was in the middle of doing a couple of different things. And I thought, oh my God, I missed that. And so I was trying to log on. He was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, because, I read and have read. I'm advocating for a couple different, doing a couple different things, wearing a couple different hats. And, I'm waiting to actually, launch my 501c3, and kind of meet sisters where they are in their healing. And sometimes, everybody's healing looks different from everybody else's. Mine looks different from yours, from Latanya, from Queenie's, but but when it's all said and done, it's healing, and our community needs so much of that. And, if I can be, an instrument or resource for that, then that would be me.
That's good.
Go ahead, Lupe.
Let's slide on around. Lauren, I don't even know how to bring you into this conversation because you are the reason that a lot of the amazing behind the scenes work has been happening. I'm so extremely grateful for you. Like, wow. Tell us a little bit about you, if you feel comfortable, and who you are and what you bring to this sisterhood conversation with your dope self.
A middling relationship with my essence words. I like them, but I also don't introduce myself with them a lot. But I'm Lauren. I'm curious, resolute, and wise. And I'm a creative person. My passion is writing, but I like design and fashion and history. I like a little bit of everything. And part of the reason you get the results out of me that you do is that I can only do my best to a fault. I can't do anything halfway.
You proved that already, Lauren.
Yeah, you already proved that. You made that very clear.
Yes, we got that point, Lauren. Yes, ma'am. We got, and we're not, Carmen is just not appreciative of you. I think I can speak for all the ladies. We're all appreciative of you. Look at you. You went above and beyond.
Thank you.
Said, who is this that Carmen know? I said, well, where did Carmen get this one from? I love it. You will definitely be hearing from me for all my future stuff.
Okay, no problem.
Absolutely amazing. And that's, I want to speak to her on the Sagittarius level. We can't do halfway. We do all or nothing. That's who we are by nature. I guess I'll introduce myself. I am Latanya Ivy. I am a necessary nurture giver. My heart is in helping people. I'm a healer. Hurt people find me and I heal them. I am drawn to people who need to be spoken for. I don't like to speak for myself, but I don't mind speaking up for someone else. So again, it is a blessing and it's a privilege to be amongst all you change agents in this time, such amazing human beings, and I'm glad to be here. I would like to speak to our hostess, Miss Carmen Ward, who is definitely my sister from a whole nother mister. I wouldn't trade her for anything. She's definitely a bright spot in my life, and me and my daughter are both grateful for her.
Let's pause and if you haven't, share the live, because I want to get this message far and wide for us and for all of the amazing work that we do. It's important that the work that Latanya, you're birthing, begins to be showcased so the world can see it. It's important, Lupe, that your ability to provide healing and support to the community, especially to our veterans, reach people like Lauren. Your words are going to touch nations. So it's important that we share your message out. And you have a testimony, Queenie, all in itself. What you did to heal yourself And now how you give it to people through food is everything. So let's take a moment and share this. And then I'm just going to really open it up with the question that's near and dear to my heart. And I really want you all to zone in on the question. Sisterhood. We have now met each other. We all know each other. We are cohort sisters. What is sisterhood to you? Like, what is it? Anybody can start.
Well, I'll go first. What sisterhood to me is simply exactly what I do. It's different ingredients, different women, different backgrounds, different skills, who all make up this collective of this body of this powerful force. There's no competition. It's just this strength, this power, this motivation of everyone wanting the next woman to be great to their highest potential. It's uplifting, it's strong, it's that link. You know, Carmen, like you say, like you pull up to intersection, you know, it's been plenty of times that Carmen, because of the sisterhood that we have, has pulled up, put me in her intersection and dip. I mean, straight left. Now she got me in the intersection. I'm gonna keep it real with you. She definitely got me in her intersection, but baby girl left. But she knew who I was. She's like, I just got to get her there. I ain't got to worry about how she gonna show up or anything like that. And to me, that's sisterhood. That's simple, like sisterhood. If I see like, oh my gosh, this person said they really want a purse, you know, and if I got an extra purse, that's your purse, because that's sisterhood. You know, you say, Queenie, I got this interview I really want to go to. I need you to keep your knees. Pull up, girl, and here's a latte. Go get that interview. Go get that job. You know, that's sisterhood to me, is being able to pull up when you think no one else can, and your sister comes and she pulls up. It's not always a gift. It's not always what you can do for me. Sometimes it's just, hey, baby, I need you to help me stop from making this decision I don't really need to be. Or it's just, I just need you to listen to me while I sound off, because I just got to get it off my chest. You know what I mean? That's sisterhood to me. Sometimes it's just pure silence. That's sisterhood to me.
Who else?
Sisterhood to me is being able to just reach out and call somebody and they just be a listening ear, or someone tell you, hey, I'm doing so-and-so, and you being there to support them for no other reason than just to show solidarity with them, to hold space in whatever capacity they may need. That's what sisterhood looks like for me. I am what you need me to be when you need me to be it.
Real good.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Because I got another question.
Mm-hmm.
I could jump in. I
Go
have two sisters in real life. I'm the oldest, and being the oldest sister is like, well, it's a whole cultural thing. Like the expectations are very specific and sometimes heavy, but it's a burden I don't mind carrying, and I don't mind expanding sisterhood out to other people. I think that the best part of sisterhood for me is like recognizing greatness in other people, like helping them reach it. Yeah, but sometimes you're down on yourself and you don't see anything beautiful in yourself. Sometimes you need somebody to grab you by the shoulders and say, you are an amazing writer, for example. Very topical example, because without Carmen acknowledging my writing and without another friend of mine acknowledging my fiction, I never would have showed anybody, because even though I liked what I was writing for myself and I read it for myself, I never really thought, hey, this is good and other people might want to read this.
Yes.
All of you, all three ladies really summed it up really, really well. And I just have a small piece, to add to that, because just like Queenie's over there making gumbo and everything, and that's what sisterhood is. Like she said, it's having that that right foundation. Otherwise, if you don't make the right root, your gumbo is just soup. It's just soup. But I think sisterhood, we all have a commonality, and it's just great to take, one, to forge of one sister, one or two or how many, for all of us to come together collectively and to push each other forward, and so you guys have just, summed it all up really, really great. But, in essence, just kind of being together and being able to feel comfortable enough to express ourselves, who we are right at that moment, not always having to be perfect or kind of, be guarded about what we're saying and how we're saying it, because family, family is not always perfect, but we're family. We're all sisters.
Wow. Everybody had a different thought on what that is. And we all met in the intersection at one organization. And we were all strangers for the most part. I knew Latanya indirectly through another organization, but really didn't know her. But none of us knew each other. And then we were all dropped into this program and forced to look at each other as we dealt radically with ourselves. I don't know what degree of what all you women went through that process, but this is a question about strangers. And then I have another question about self-awareness. What does it take to form sisterhood with a stranger? I'm talking about somebody you do not know, you have never met in your life. What does it take to hold the same type of love, capacity, support, foundation? Think about everything that just came out your mouth, because you said it, not me. What does it take to hold that same space with a stranger? Who wants to go first?
I would love to on this one because the fear of strangers and strangers' opinions is what has stopped me for a lot of my life from putting myself out there. And I come from a background where lies, not egregious lies, but white lies are kind of the norm. And so I think that's why I latched onto your idea of radical transparency, like I discussed in a couple of your January blogs, because that was what really allowed me to start making these connections with strangers, was this idea of we're all going to be 100% honest, for better or worse. And then that aspect of my view of sisterhood is building each other up, recognizing the beauty in each other. I can believe people if we're in an environment where everybody's going to be 100% honest. It's not just a nicety. I know that you really believe I'm a fantastic writer because Carmen doesn't talk bullshit to me.
Carmen doesn't talk
Latanya
bullshit at
doesn't
all.
either. I just won't say nothing. I'm not the type to blow smoke up nobody's ass. So, if I'm not with it, I just won't respond in any manner. But what does it take to form a relationship with strangers? For me, it takes vulnerability, because I'm not necessarily a run out people person. I'm an empath. I'm also very introverted. However, I read spirits, energies, and those types of things. So, but I do allow myself the openness to be able to do that. I'm not gonna run up to you. There has to be something that says, hey, this one to me. So for me, it's openness, number one. And number two, I have to be vulnerable enough to allow that to happen.
I think vulnerability is very key especially when you are empath or you're kind of, an introvert. But I guess at Rung, how I got involved with Carmen is that, I don't know, I see people, and depending on like you said, the energy, I usually include myself in, but I also like, like talking to people and like encouraging people, because sometimes you could pick up on their energy, or you could pick up on something, if you can read people and read their personality, and you know exactly where they are, and they may not need a whole lot of words. They may not need the word, specific, like every day, but maybe at that very given moment, if I'm able to give them a word, or if it comes into, if it weighs heavy on me, I may reach out and send something to someone as a word of encouragement or something like that, and like Lauren was saying, she's the oldest. I'm the youngest. So there's a lot of responsibility on the oldest, and there's hardly any responsibility on the youngest. But now that we're, up in age, and, in my family, it seems like I'm taking on, the leadership role, and, helping my older brother with certain things, and helping my older sister with certain things, and I had to get out of that whole thing. Like, well, I'm the baby, you guys should be helping me, I had to get out of that, so that quickly was dissipated, but I just, a lot of, seeing Queenie, and, I'm still practicing my candid photoshops, because every time I see this picture of me and Queenie, and, I think, like, I said, she always, takes really great photos, and I hate being photographed. I hate being in the picture. I really do. But, that celebration at Rung that day, with all, it made it easy to kind of like, kind of participate. And, so every time now, if I'm taking a picture, I always think of Queenie, and how Queenie takes those candid shots, and it always look like it's it's actually a stock photo or something, like, so, and I love it, but just like, Lauren was saying, is that being 100%, in sisterhood, being 100%, and being able to speak your truth, and without feeling like, okay, somebody may feel, offended by it, but still being a sister in that sisterhood, even after speaking your truth. So that to me is everything. Is everything.
I feel like for me, showing up with that same sisterhood that I get excited about when I'm in the presence of you ladies. For me, I'm kind of the same way, like Sylvia, like I could feel that energy. And sometimes I'm called to a person. I'm called to minister my sisterhood. I'm called to say, hey, Mom, I don't know what you're going through, but I just want you to know you're doing an excellent job today. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I feel like that energy pulls me to that sister who needs me to be a sisterhood. Now, one thing about sisterhood for me, it's hard. It's hard for me because women be wanting you to show up for them in ways that I may not be comfortable with showing up. I may not be someone, I'm a low maintenance friend. I'm not gonna call you, text you all day. I might just be your Instagram friend and not your Facebook friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a social butterfly, but when I get ready to be social, I'm ready to go, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like I have that energy and that connection to be able to use my sisterhood as the world and the universe, and as, it puts people in a path for me. I feel like, I mean, sometimes I get tired. I get tired of branching out my sisterhood and lending my ear. I get a little tired sometimes because I feel like I'm always being called. I'm always being pulled on, and sometimes I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna keep my head down. But then I realize that woman might need that blessing. She might need me to extend that. And you have to not be selfish sometimes. So I can do it. Do I do it as much as I need to? No. But practice makes perfect. And I'm learning that with just being connected with Carmen. Carmen is a high demand friend. I'm gonna be real with you. When I say sister's a high demand friend, when I say she a high demand sister, if y'all think her being her friend is something, imagine being her sister. And then if you think her sister is something, man, don't be no type of investor or anything attached to becoming Carmen, because it's over. Okay. So it's like you have to like know how your sisterhood has to branch out and has to show up. Carmen said something to me once. She said, Queenie, no one has ever told me no before. And it tickled me. It tickled my soul. And the only reason why it tickled my soul, because one, she right. People don't stop her enough. You know what I mean? And some people don't let her go fast enough. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. But you have to be careful with your sisterhood and how you lend it out. If it was up to Carmen, I'll be cooking gumbo all day, every day for everybody here in St. Louis. She'll have me pulling up at schools, nursing homes, daycares. She don't care. She'll have me pulling up at your house if she knew that was going to help me get to my goal. So being a sisterhood, you have to remember, surround you around people who you know that's going to champion you. I know if I say, Carmen, I don't know if I want to do this catering thing no more. She gonna, and if she come to me like, Queenie, I don't know, that's sisterhood. That's sisterhood. And sometimes you can show up and do that for strangers, but also make sure that that's going on in your heart. Sometimes people be moving too soon and too quick, and you ain't supposed to be moving. You can't branch your sisterhood out to someone because that person may not be ready to receive. You know what I'm saying? What you might be have to bestow upon that person. So make sure that it's really connecting here when you get ready to do it, because sometimes you might lose something. That $20 that was on your heart to get that person to put some gas in their car so they can make it to work, you may not get that back, and you got to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. If you sacrifice your meal so your friend's son can eat, you might not get that meal back, and you got to be okay with that. And again, that's part of sisterhood, because guess what? If you call me for a meal and I'm hungry, all I'm gonna do is call one of my other sisters to tell my sister I'm hungry. That's all I'm gonna do.
I think Queenie made a good point about if you're giving somebody $20, don't expect it back. My mother always said, never loan money that you're expecting to get back. If you can't give it and give without expecting it back, then you don't have it to give. Because and that's so true. So I never loan money, but if somebody say, hey, I need this or that, my intention of giving them that money is that if they give it back, they give it back. If not, it's all good.
And listen, it's just not money. It's time.
Right. It's time. Yep,
it's patience. It's energy.
Everything.
You ain't just giving up money.
It's everything.
Because time is starting to be just as precious to me as money now.
More so.
Time costs more than money.
It really does.
Let's pause and bring Shantae into the conversation.
Hi, Shantae.
But Lauren,
Shantae.
I want to say this, Lauren, as you hearing all of our amazing sisters with these different perspectives, I know it's giving you a lot to write. And like, they answered the question on strangers their way. I just want to be clear, like, and you did too. And this is what sisterhood is like. Like, I was looking for a completely different answer. That's why I'm doing the head twist, but they did not answer it the way I wanted. And that's because they don't have to. And the one thing about stranger relationships that are important to me, and then I'm gonna pitch both questions to Shantae, is that no matter what we do in life, we're gonna constantly encounter them. And we are an oppressed people in oppressed communities for the most part. And the one barrier that keeps us in crisis is our fear of the unknown and people that are unknown. And I do radical things and I lose a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of everything because I just keep helping strangers and I just can't stop, won't stop. And my sisters often tell me, you need to stop because of the toll that it takes. But I love each and every answer. Welcome to the conversation, Ms. Gregory. You have to meet your sister Lupe. Y'all have a lot in common. But there has been 2 questions posed after they introduced themselves and their business. The first question was about what is sisterhood to you? Then the second question is, when we think about this thing of sisterhood and relationships, how do you really apply it under this theory of stranger interactions? So we'll give you those 2 questions and then I'll move to the third question.
Sisterhood to me is, first of all, I would like to say thank you everybody for holding space for me. I am completely honored to be in this with all of you ladies. I think all of you are phenomenal in your own right, doing amazing things. I got chills with that one. Amazing things. Okay, sisterhood to me, I feel is interdependent support. Because we all have our own special gifts. So you have to stand in that and radiate what you have and then support one another. We all have our own specific roles, but we can't do it without the other person. That's what we have to create. That, first of all, independence is a coping mechanism of not having anybody on your side, of not having support. When you're independent, that means that you never had anybody that was going to have your back, and you realize that you had to be that person. If I'm going to lie, I got to be that person for me. But when you have those people behind you to support you, like, oh my God, y'all, I'm going to mix these questions right on together. Because that strange thing, oh, Carmen, we only have known each other a year. And within probably the first month, it was like this. We've been sisters ever since. It was never a question in my mind that it wasn't unconditional from her. And I've always been unconditional in my love of wanting to help and grow with others.
Let's go deep. We have been blogging about self-awareness and we're landing the plane tomorrow. And to land the plane, that's the only way we're going to be able to talk about accountability in the month of March. I don't know how bold you women are. Y'all know I'm a gangster with mine. You know, scared as hell. March 4th is coming though. Scared as hell. But y'all gonna be out there in them streets, in them seats with your girl.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about self-awareness in building sisterhood and relationships. What did you have to do to become the woman that's on this live conversation?
Is that posed to me?
That's posed to everybody.
You go first,
The
Shantae, since you just joining. Oh, listen to me. Go ahead, Shantae.
Thank you. So,
Anybody who want to go first can go first.
Right,
What
yeah.
did you have to do? Like, what was your pull-up? I mean, let's keep it a buck.
you had to grow. To be self-aware, you have to grow. And you have to be open to growth.
What did you have to do though?
Okay, I'm gonna let somebody else go with that one because I have to think.
All right, let me take that one. Let me take that one. Because the only reason why I'm gonna take this one is because I'm really coming on the upside of this. But what I had to do to arrive at this point was a very important thing that I didn't even know existed. But I had to heal the little girl in me that was still crying out. She was hurt. She was hurt. She was torn. She was sad. She was unforgiving. She wasn't lovable. She was causing pain. She was self-inflicting. She was setting boundaries she didn't know she was setting. She was closed, trapped. She couldn't breathe. I didn't know that. I didn't know that every time I pulled up for myself, that I was the person that was stopping me. It wasn't my past and what I went through. It wasn't my daddy issue, my mama issues. It was the little girl in me hadn't realized that the past and what was supposed to happen didn't happen, and what did happen did happen. Well, what are you going to do now? That realization that I had to come to was that I couldn't control what happened to me in the past. I can't control the people that hurt me. I can't control the mother that didn't love me. I can't control the father that didn't come for me. I can't control this teacher who told me that I wasn't going to be smart enough to be successful. I couldn't control any of that. But when I pulled up on myself and hushed that little girl, and then fell in love with myself, learned how to look at myself and see everything great and beautiful and mighty, when I began to do that, man. Hi, my name is, let me reintroduce myself. Hi, my name is Queenie Marie Vesey, and I will never be put in no one's box again. Okay, so how did I get here? I had to heal the little girl. And once I healed the little girl, I fell in love with myself. And when I fell in love with myself, I stayed.
I know that's right. I know that's right. That's everything, Queenie. Wow, that is everything.
That was a long time coming. That's 10 years of work, baby. That's 10 years of breaking down, therapy sessions, meds, the whole 9 yards. That was some work.
Thanks,
because you have to become one with yourself and say, hey,
Right.
It ain't no longer my mama fault. It ain't no longer that teacher fault. Now it's all on you. So what you gonna do? And in Carmen's famous words, pull up.
Right. Yeah. I know that, like I said, that's everything, and you know, being in therapy helps open that up. But for me, it's kind of like, if I try to recall something from my childhood, I can't. Like hurtful things or something that has held me back. And sometimes I'll be having a conversation with my sister, my older sister, and she'll say something and it's like, what? But right before the pandemic, in one therapist, she said, you've put things in a box that your mind has, protected you from or is protecting you from. And I'm okay with that. I'm definitely, I'm okay with that. And, but the whole thing is, like Queenie said, is love and self. And shoot, it reminds me of, Whitney Houston's, song, the greatest love of all, which is me, and because I cannot give love or service someone if I don't love who I am. And that's so important because when you value who you are, then you're able to kind of, exude that to others. And it kind of shows in your persona of who you are. So I really, Queenie has always kept it real, everything, like in class and everything, so she's always, kept it real, to a certain point, I'm kind of, I'll hold my tongue a little bit. One is because I have a speech impediment and sometimes I stutter, and if I really get kind of, like I'm really kind of advocating, I'm really, because I my Facebook page shows, I advocate, and I say certain things, and it, a lot of, it's political, and our truth as a people, who we are, is not the same truth as everybody else's, and even as individuals, our truth collectively is still different from each one of us. Our truth is still different. I'll say that we have one heart and two lungs, but how our body metabolizes something. This pandemic has put a certain amount of trauma on us, but how we perceive that is different for each of us. So but like LaTanya said, hey, I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. Because that's the only way I know how to give it. Is I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't know. I'm trying to learn how to kind of soften the blow when I when I
Hey,
when I
I'm good
give
at
it.
that.
Sometimes blows don't need to be softened. Like you and Shantae are going to spend time getting to know each other because y'all have similar spirits. And I saw as you first started talking, she looked behind her, grabbed a pen and piece of paper, and she wrote something down. Something that you said registered with her. I know you a hammer hitter. We cohort 1 for the record. She's cohort 2. She'll know you from campaign. But that energy of what you all have for the work that both of you do together is amazing. I often go on Queenie's post and all I write or say is the word reflection. I don't say nothing else but reflection.
Or intersection.
Yeah.
Or intersection.
Yeah.
Or
Queenie
pull up.
knows.
Or pull up. I was gonna say, or pull up.
But reflection is for Queenie. And she knows what that means because that's between me and her. Day one, self-aware. I saw her, she saw me. I heard her, she heard me. We knew what it was. I can see her in any room years from now, and I know what it is. And I'm just gonna like, when we become self-aware, what is that? Like, what is that for us? I know for me, as I'm sitting at the intersection of one of the dream, my dream, I am aware that I am an audience of one. I am aware that I had to be radical and bold. I am aware that I have an inner core, and that's really all that I have. I also am aware of the importance of relationships and stranger interactions. And I also understand that this is a journey, if this makes sense to you ladies, that I have to do alone because it's radical, radical work. It hurts, it's scary, but I understand. I'm gonna open it back up to the women who haven't spoken. Self-awareness.
Let me just recap before you open it back up, because I always remember this, Carmen. You know, we're relationship people. That's how we were created, as relational people. And you know, outside of my my blood lineage, you know, I'm not really, you know, I've got one close friend that I've had since maybe you know, 8th grade or, you know, something like that. But family is important. And even extended family is important, but family is so important. And sometimes, you know, because we had that connection of energy with our family. So if our family over here is falling apart and saying, you know, I'm not gonna have anything to do with them because they get on my nerve, they're this or that, not knowing that you're still connected with that person energetically. And what was amazing to me, how that came out, is that you know, my family, that my paternal family, one is, you know, they're, you know, out of the country, you know, they're still in the country that my grandmother came from. Come to find out, my grandmother's niece was living right here in O'Fallon, where I am, years ago. And then, you know, and I don't remember meeting them because I'm the youngest, but it was amazing how our paths had crossed, even though she's like, oh, you know, like, oh, your auntie so-and-so's grandchild. Yep. And she said, oh, well, I was in America. When I was in America, I lived in O'Fallon, Missouri. I didn't really like it that much. I said, oh, me either. And then I was in, she said, you know, I was in the west suburban of you know, Illinois. That's where I'm from. It's like, oh my God. So we your paths cross. So you know, whether you know it or not, because it still kind of connects you energetically. You know, so we're all connected. So as a people, all of us here in this space right here, we're all connected. So if we're all connected, just imagine how connected you are with your ancestors. And that's what I'm saying. So you may say, well, I don't know them, or I've never met my ancestors, but you're still connected.
Absolutely. That speaks volumes, and that holds a lot of truth for people who mind has the capacity to grab that. What I will say made me become self-aware was the experiences that I had when COVID hit, the changes that my life took that I was not aware that COVID was going to present to me. And, those who know about my daughter, that I have to move a certain way. And that became aware to me that I wasn't the island that I thought I was, that I wasn't the one that could do all and can fix everything and I'll get it done regardless. No, that was no longer true. I had to resign my position in the medical field for my daughter. I didn't know what I was going to do at that particular moment because I was the one who went and got it, who got it done, who pulled up for myself. I'm the only one in my family that is here in Missouri. So I became self-aware in that moment that, okay, you finna have to figure some things out beyond yourself. That led me to creating what will soon be a 501c3 for single moms, that I will be able to be the plug for them and their necessity needs that come out of nowhere that they weren't expecting and planning for and don't know what to do with on their own. That made me self-aware. If I'm experiencing this and this happened to me and I'm the person that is so self-reliant and so self-sufficient, I can't be the only one. Why is it so hard that when you go to get help, you have to be judged for this, that, and other, or people are making assumptions about your life and what you got going on? That's unnecessary. People need help. They don't need you to be guessing them, looking at them no type of way, making them feel some type of way, doing somersaults, handstands, and back bends to get your help that you're trying to provide. They don't need all of that. They simply need someone to hold space for them in that particular moment until they can get to the next thing, period.
Yep. Wow.
All of that was truly amazing.
It really
I got
was.
a few things I want to say. I don't know. I'm keeping it short today. I'm not going all in. Because my things that I have to say are pretty straightforward. Lupe, when you were saying that you were putting things in a box, there's actually a name for that. That is called cognitive. When you forget what's going on in childhood because it was so painful. And your therapist is absolutely correct. You were protecting yourself because when you protect yourself from things that are super traumatic, you at the time could not handle it and you would have had a breakdown, like period. So that's those thoughts or those memories are put away for you not to really to have access to them. And then as far as the connection between Queenie and Carmen, one of the biggest wounds as a human collective that we have is to be seen and heard. So if you immediately connect to somebody as far as seeing them and hearing them, then that sounds like a lifetime connection. And Carmen, as far as being alone, sister, you ain't never alone. Even if you want
that part.
Because you always have your guardian angels, you have your ancestors, you have the spirits that are there to protect you, because guess what? If they weren't protecting you, you wouldn't have made it to this place right now. Something would have happened. So you're never alone. And as far as being connected to people that might be toxic, you just got to cut the cord. And it's an energetic cord. It's not necessarily something like no contact. It's really an energetic cord. You can move to a state and still have that built up negativity from that relationship and still want to talk to the person, mess with them, all of it. Space is nothing. You can reach that in a minute through energy, so those are the I just was pulling off of you guys' conversation. And Latanya, I think that it was so purposeful that you found all of these groups that you're able to collectively be in, because we all here for you. Like, I definitely feel you because Lori and all of my family is in Virginia. my dad's there, all of my mama's side of the family is there. So the only people that are here are me, my sister, and my mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm lucky enough to have them too. And having a child, that is so hard. That is so hard. People don't understand. When you actually care about what's going on with your baby, you have to make those sacrifices. I've done it so many times. At the job I'm at now, I sacrifice to be at the job so I can have decent health care for my son. Their health care is so good that I have to put up being at this place that I really am not connected to. But I'm thankful for, because it's able to provide me with what I need for me and for my family.
Absolutely.
My heart breaks for single moms now, because my youngest on the 3rd of March, she'll be 31, and it just is. I just feel so, bad for you guys. I look at my grandchildren, and it's just like, oh wow, times had just changed so drastically from that point to this point, especially with these babies born in the in the middle of the pandemic. You have adults losing their minds, and then they expect babies to hold it all together. And what really irritates me is if seeing these kids being natural kids, maybe throwing a tantrum, and somebody's coming along and they zip tying them and arresting them. Like, what's going on here? So yeah, it's just that whole adage, it takes a village. It takes a village. Seriously, it does.
It does, but Lupe, I want to correct one narrative. Then this is the narrative that I want us to get away from. I understand what you're saying, but I don't want you to feel bad. I want you to see the strengths in that single mother. I want you to know that she is doing the best she can. And with the help that she needs, she will thrive. Not to feel bad. I understand the sentiment. But I want us to get away from, oh, she's a single mother. Oh, poach. No, not that.
Victim.
I don't want that. That's
empathy over sympathy.
I want people to understand that she may be in a situation that is non-traditional. However, she's a warrior. She's strong. She's making it happen. She got it all on her back. She may make it look easy, but know that it's not. But what she does not need is sympathy. She needs for you to understand where she is and to help her to get where she's trying to go. Not the judgment, not the old Poe is you. That's not what she needs. Not you, Miss Lope. Not you. Society as a whole.
Right.
Listen to me. So this is more like the intersection. And Lupe, you brought up a great point. Latanya, you brought up a great point. But this is where sisterhood, the community hub, and radically getting to know people is critical. Like right where they are. The most powerful thing that was ever created was a word. And then when you add tones to words where you can go up or down, like that's intimidating as hell to a person. That's why when my reflection, AKA Queenie, pulled up, I'm like, well, I'll be damned. It looked like me, act like me, sound like me, and yes. So I don't know how many people know what the community hub is. There's a branch of it that is the community hub of St. Louis Mutual Aid. And out of that lens, Latanya's birthing her individual dream. Becoming Carmen is launching her business and has launched. But I also see each and every last one of you women, Queenie getting ready to pull up and cook for Mutual Aid. Shantae's been in the intersection, moving and shaking in various ways. And Lauren just came on and is our first freelance writer. So when you think about even that conversation that just happened, because I love it, that's what needs to happen. More of that, so that we can become, you see this, Lauren, I'm going there, the community we desire. We can never become the community we desire until we understand what's really going on. So Latanya, what is the community hub of St. Louis Mutual Aid? What are we doing? Shantae, what are we doing? Lauren, what are we doing? And then Queenie, I just want you to say what you think we doing from your lens.
Off the
For
bat,
me, we're holding space for each other. We're allowing each other to dream their dream and build it out how we see fit and bring it to the world and make changes that need to be changed from our perspective, and let that thing go forth, let it grow, let it take root, and let it blossom, because there are things out here that everybody's in a different intersection, and that's what needs to happen. We can't all ride the same lane, just don't get crowded. And plus, we need to learn how to be on our own. So everything that everybody's doing is a very necessary part to building a better community, therefore a better world if it catches fire, if people understand the motivation and the drive behind it. My thing happens to be what's near and dear to my heart. I'm a mother who has a child, and I'm doing this by myself, period. I need for other people to understand that just because I am doing this by myself, I'm not a victim. Circumstances happen, things happen. I still am doing this. Every now and again, like people in two family households, I know friends who husband and wife still have their own set of challenges. So that's why I want to take the narrative off, oh, she's a single mother, bless her heart. No, there's two family households that are struggling just the same. What she is a mother who's taking care of her child, regardless to whoever else beside her or who's not.
I love it. Shantae, what is this community hub of St. Louis Mutual Aid? What is this community hub that you pulled up and helped me build?
Oh, wow. It's like love radiating from the top of the mountain to me.
Let it rain, let it rain.
Not with you.
This space, I just feel so much, oh my goodness, it warms my heart. It like is literally a light from heaven. Like, I love us like having a positive mind, wanting to do stuff for each other. That within itself is just growth. I mean, like, I've been here in St. Louis at least 30 years, and I didn't see that growing up. I didn't see people pulling together. If there was a crisis, yeah, we could do it. But I'm talking about on a regular day being a neighbor. You see your neighbor is the old man, shovel his driveway. You know what I'm saying? Like, just doing things, supportive things for one another. That's what we do for, period. Supporting one another as a whole. And this community hub is doing it. You
doing it, baby, doing it.
Bad girl. Bad girl. Y'all, she be just pulling stuff out. She used to always be yelling at me. I don't know what she's talking about. But you know what it was? It was the chaos that I needed to develop what was necessary for everybody. The healing center is because I needed to heal. Just like Latanya, her thing is her child. You know what I'm saying? My thing, I was hurt. I was hurt and I needed to heal that. I needed to get it together. And I don't want that to just be for me. I want that to be Queenie. I want that to be for Carmen. I want that to be for Lupe. I want that to be for all of us. I want us all to feel that, because when we all have that power, so powerful. Victim, never. Powerful, always.
Queenie, what is the community hub through the lens that you've gotten to see? And Lauren, you know that you're supposed to close us out.
Yep.
About accountability. Yeah, you know what you got to do. And that's how Go on,
okay,
Queenie,
so when I have to even just put my mind around community hub, I think it's what has been taken from our communities is a community. And we finally have this space now where we can feel safe to be part of a community. And this is my issue why it's hard for me to latch on and be a part of things, because it's the fear. You know what I mean? It's like every time I step out and I put myself out there, I get bit. Every time I, have this great idea or I want to be a part of something, I'm turned away because I'm not white enough. I'm not smart enough. I ain't got enough degrees. I don't know this person. I don't know that person. So at the community hub, it don't matter. You may not have that bachelor's degree, but you might find someone there who has a bachelor's degree who can pull up in your intersection and they could be that space for you. You see what I'm saying? So when I think about the community hub, I think about a long time coming. We've been needing this community support where people can come and pull up and say, hey, this is what I need. I mean, Carmen, you was giving away dresses. I got a crock pot I need to come over there and pick up. You know, we don't have the community space for what I consider those valley moments. You know what I mean? We be having some dark moments. We don't always just need lie heap to pay electricity bill.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need a cup of flour so we can go ahead and make this pot of whatever we got to cook. Sometimes we just need that little $10 gift card from Quick Trip to put some gas in the car, or some diapers, or a gift card at Dollar General, because we just need a pack of diapers. You see what I'm saying? And at the community hub, I feel like this is a space where you could be vulnerable. You ain't got to feel ashamed. You could say, hey, Carmen, look, yo, sis, hey, I'm hungry this week. You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, sis, I just need a hug. Hey, I called Carmen up at work. I said, I just need a hug. She pulled right on up. Ooh, when I seen that blue car hit the parking lot, I said, there she go. There she go. And we sat in the car and I got my hug and I went on about my day. So it's not always about a materialistic thing. Sometimes community hub is just about that ear. It's about that advice. It's about saying, Queenie, I don't know that, but I know somebody who do know that. And let me go ahead and build that intersection. So when you talk about community, you talk about community hub, we don't have enough of it. It's not big enough. It's not large enough. We don't have enough resources yet. We need people to pour in. We need people to come pull up into our intersection and continue to bless us. We need future warehouses. We need places where people can come and they ain't got to sign their name and give up a social security number and see how much who live in your household.
Say that.
So we just want to make sure that your kids can eat this week. We want to make sure that because you caught COVID, you can still keep your lights on. And that's why we need people to pull up to community. Come on and pull up to this community hub. If you say you're about what you say you are, if you say you're about building a community, if you say you're about planting seeds and birthing a really community-based, in St. Louis been needed, y'all so segregated here. I'm an Iowa girl. Looking. I've been here from 17 years now. Don't get it twisted. But I want you to know, I'm an Iowa girl, so from the outside looking in, this is the most segregated place I've ever lived. And it's the most hardest place.
It's the hardest place in our own community.
It's the hardest place to get some help. It's the hardest place. And when I say a woman she shouldn't have to be humble to come ask for some food. She shouldn't have to determine if I'm gonna eat today or go get me some tampons tomorrow. Why? But that's why places like the community hub exist, because she ain't got to determine. She can come and get some food and get some tampons.
Hey, you heard me. And I'm from Birmingham. When I first got here, I was like, the city and the county, my zip code. What are you talking about?
Is anybody from here on her? Because I'm from Virginia.
I'm the only person that's born and bred here, I think.
She the seed. She the root. She the root.
Yeah, because I'm from Illinois, and even though you guys say, even though Queenie is saying, hey, this seems like the most segregated. I mean, when I first got here, we were in U City, and that Delmar Divide, I had to wrap my head around that. It was like, Delmar Divide, what is that all about? Or when my grandson, we were in WashU housing, a $1 billion university, and their housing had lead poisoning, and my little grandson got lead poisoned. And it was like, oh, and the health department people were like, oh, that's just St. Louis. That's just how things are. I'm thinking like, that's just normal. I'm thinking like, honey, lead in your blood is not normal. And so that was really, kind of like taken aback because WashU is very friendly when it comes to meeting the needs of outsiders. And when I say outsiders, I mean people that are not within the American realm. I mean, they help, but I mean, they go above and beyond for refugees and immigrants, except for the people within their community. Because I had to write a letter to the president of WashU about the lead in our WashU apartment, so that was an issue for me. But LaTanya was very, very right when she said that it's people in 2-parent households or, that are having issues. And because just recently, my son became a single parent, and within that two community household, it was no unity. And you know, just like you said, you know, Latonya, you gave up, you came out of the medical field to provide for your child. After this pandemic hit, my daughter quit medical school. She was very successful and went to medical school with her child. And she was just like, you know what? I want something that's going to be more fulfilling and kind of align with my beliefs. And just being harassed because she was always speaking about health disparities. She was like, you know what? I don't need that type of stress, because medical school is stressful enough. But now you're being harassed by your classmates about, what are you talking about, health disparities? You know, that doesn't exist. Yeah, it does. You know, but so that's the community. I haven't been to St. Louis to the community hub, but like Queenie said, it's a certain amount of fear too, like, kind of coming in, and sometimes even coming in when you have I initially started Rung online, and then I thought, you know what, I'm out here by myself. I need to get out and, get to know people more. And so I started driving into Rung. But like Queenie said, that's a pretty long, I mean, from O'Fallon, it's about, 35, 40-minute drive. And sometimes, 3-4 times a week, that's, gas is high, last time I checked, they wasn't, turning urine into gas till you run your car. So, so that was a problem, but then I saw the camaraderie and the unity, with Carmen and, Queenie and Sarah, and Alicia and Leah, all of them. I was like, hey, I want to be a part of that, and, getting to know Taylor and, just, all of that. And it was like, that I just, wanted to become a part of that, but then also feeling like, oh, well, they know each other for I'm the new person on the block. So I'm here, like I'm back here. So it has to, you have to kind of like, wiggle in, to see, do I really fit in? You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel privileged just because, just to be, just to, be invited, in you all space. So
our space is our space.
I mean, yeah, and as Lauren lands this plane, I didn't do a lot of talking. By God's grace, he will take over, and I'll do my talking on March 4th. This is the community hub, Lupe. You've been involved in the community hub since the first day you met me. Anybody that wants to be in it is in it. Like, I eyeballed Lauren in APS class, didn't know what I was gonna do with her, but I know she was coming. When I intersected with Latanya, I didn't know what God was going to have me do or how he wanted me to support her, but I knew he told me to be her champion. He didn't tell me to be her partner. He didn't tell me to be her co-founder. He told me to be her champion. Words have power. We have to stop and understand the value of words. When you see your reflection and you recognize the things you've been afraid of your whole life, and you see how beautiful your reflection is, I don't have to know you to help you, Queenie. And I guess I asked the second questions about strangers is because I want us to take it back and actually reflect on it. We don't know each other, people. How willing are you to give to the next person without knowing nothing? Sometimes breakthroughs and opportunities are on the other side of being bold enough to help a stranger. I don't know y'all. Yes, we're sisters. We're in a cohort, but I only help y'all, and hear me clearly, because God tells me to. I don't know y'all from campaign. We have to be open. Lauren, close us out.
All right. Well, first off, I want to kind of give my own input on the community hub. I'm really impressed by everybody pulling up, as Carmen says, because yes, as Lupe said, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to do anything. And it's easy just to say that. But in everyone, even you who I'm just talking to for the first time today, I see people that say, let me be the village. I am the village. Let me pull you up. And nobody is just trying for themselves. They want to bring everybody else up with them. And that's what I think is the power of this community. And indeed, the power of sisterhood, because that's, I think, what you could call this community hub so far is a sisterhood. And what I also want to touch on is we talked a lot about like loving the self. Also, you have to be a sister to yourself. It sounds funny, but it's true. You and your sisters, whether they're related to you by blood or otherwise, have to be able to look at yourself and say, you can do better than this. It's time for you to shine. It's time to get in there. And that's why we will be talking about accountability next month, because you should expect great things out of yourself.
I agree. I agree.
Yes,
That's
I do
powerful.
too. Yeah. Yes.
Tell
Very
social media
Lauren.
bye. Bye, social media.
I totally agree with Lauren. That was on point, Lauren.
Thank you.
Thank
right.
you, Lauren.
I'm gonna stop this live.